Hello crypto family, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And how do you guys like my new plant? It's an orchid. Looks very nice. Having said that, Biden to sign a crypto order as industry faces sanctions pressure. This is by far the most important article that has come out in the last 24 hours. Everybody is talking about Biden, as again, it is coming a lot closer. But besides that, guys, I have a couple of really interesting things I want to talk about as well. Like, for example, the commodities. And again, you might hear the bludung sound a couple of times because some settings are wrong, but who cares? I want to talk a little bit about some very interesting Bitcoin transaction that just happened, a little bit about the current Bitcoin price and the fun way in which it is moving. And I guess you can call this entire video a regulation type of episode, as again, we also have some breaking news on some different ends that I really have to cover. For example, some news from the state of Florida and some very important / breaking news for Europe. All right, having said that, take a look at this. Crypto Law just posted over on their Twitter, Crypto Executive Order. The order will direct federal agencies to examine potential regulatory changes as well as the national security and economic impact of digital assets. Story notes accusations that Russia may be using digital assets to bypass the sanctions, but some analysts and officials have questioned how effective a workaround crypto could be, given the limited size of the market. Now, the order, which has been in the works since last year, will require Fed agencies across the government to report later this year what they're doing regarding digital assets. And Biden's team is under pressure to play more of a coordinating role as industry executives bemoan what they say is a lack of clarity under the US rules. All right, so first of all, if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos, make sure you press that like button. I try to provide this news always as soon as humanly possible in the best way I can. If you guys have any tips or things you'd like to see in the next video, you can always put them in the comment section down below as I read every single comment. Try me, all right? Say something. Say something with about the video. If you say something positive and I don't press the heart icon, you win, all right? But I think I'll press it because I watch every single comment that you guys post. All right, but long story short, what Biden is planning to do is give a small speech or release a paper in which they direct exactly what the different agencies over in the United States government have to report on. So an executive order in a easy fashion is just a go do this, go do that, go do this, and report back to me what you find or what you've been doing throughout this period as to what I told you to look into. And for crypto, that basically means they have to look into the way in which other parties look at the, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so the name scared me for a second, guys. I'm not going to lie. I saw it. I was like, ooh, maybe it's a troll because I thought it said Jeffrey, but it did not. And also, if you're wondering, yes, it's been rumored that this was going to be posted a couple of weeks ago already, and it kind of keeps getting stalled, and that's mostly because people don't exactly know when it's going to come out. You can't. The White House does not comment on this, and they are saying it's close, and a lot of inside sources are saying, yeah, it's there, but we don't know officially when the order will come. We are assuming that this week, next week, it could be there. But if it's the week afterwards, I wouldn't really be surprised. If it's tomorrow, it could definitely be. It's just we'll have to see, but it's very close. And again, it's important, guys, because this will most likely decide the next wave of regulations for crypto. Yet again, the majority of decisions given out in this order will only come into effect a couple of years from now, as the order basically makes it so that a lot of these parties have to go and look for things, look into things, and give back their reports in like a year and a half from now. All right, moving on. Guys, if you're not following me over on Twitter just quite yet, this is the best moment to do so. Go over to the Twitter app, type in TheDustyBC, and check it out. I provide all the most important updates on there, and one of the things which I think is also very useful is that I try to put it on there every single time that crypto is pumping or dumping or anything of the sort, just to get you guys either as involved as possible or as up to date as possible. If you're just browsing through, for example, your Instagram or whatever, and all of a sudden you see, bam, notification from the DSTBC, you most likely get a little notification that things are pumping or dumping whenever there's a significant move going on. For example, for XRP, I just warned everybody, there might be a breakout coming in the short term, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the charts here. There could be something just looming, just very, very close, and that's, again, what it looks to be poised, you know? And again, for Bitcoin, the situation is not necessarily crazy positive just quite yet. We can clearly see that over the short term here from March 6th all the way up to now, it's a little bit of a downtrend that's going on here. I think everybody would agree with that. But the majority of factors for the Bitcoin price were still looking positive, which is why we're still relatively juiced up on it. We're still quite excited. And for XRP, we're just hoping that this breakout, which is going to be coming in the next 2 or 3 days, is going to be towards the upside, hitting 77 point something cents first as kind of like a baseline to confirm above 79 cents and then break through all the way towards 89 cents in the short term. That's what I'm hoping for, that we're hoping to see short term. Then again, as I've told you guys 1,000 times before, for XRP, a lot of these supports really are pretty critical. And what I mean with that is that I honestly believe XRP right now is one of the best assets for safety rather than Bitcoin or anything else, mostly because there's this lawsuit backing, which basically makes it so that people are not really selling the coin. Why would you? You've been waiting all this time for Ripple to basically get some sort of decision, and now we know it's going to be at maximum, let's say, half a year or so before the lawsuit is finished. If you sell it now, there's a very high probability you're going to miss out on the crazy surge we get after this lawsuit is finished. And I honestly think, and I've said this 1,000 times before, I think the price will 10x in that time frame. So by selling now, the risk is a lot higher than the reward. And as I described a couple of times on Twitter, let's say you sell right now. What are you going to gain? Okay, let's say the price, if you sell, if you were very lucky, the price would actually halve. So we'd go to 35 or so cents. That's if you're very lucky. But if you're unfortunate, the price 10x's or even 100x's over the next couple of months. And when exactly do you buy in? I think the downside, so basically XRP breaking down and going towards 35 cents, is a lot smaller than the upside. Or more importantly, it's very hard to sell right now, buy back at an opportune time to catch that wave upwards, which I think has a very high probability of occurring. And so I would just say that selling is just not the best decision for me. And then again, you are your own person. I'm just expecting the upside for XP on the short, medium, and whatever term. And so I'm staying very freaking bullish on it. But to not stay stuck with XRP for the entire day here, it's actually really interesting to see how commodities are moving. Take a look at this. So wheat, coal, palm oil, and whatnot, they're actually moving up like 5-6% on the daily. Isn't that kind of fun to see? The fact that these things are moving with 5% in just one small little teeny weeny day. Gold also hit $2,000, which was a rather interesting move right here. But I just can't really believe it is up this much. A little fun fact, by the way, I'm not really that heavily into tin, but one of the guys which I spoke to quite recently, he told me tin is the next big thing. Are you guys into like the metals? Let me know in the comment section if you're into metals like that. I've just been watching all these commodities, just taking a small little gander at it over the last couple of hours. And it's interesting to me as well how wheat is moving this significantly. Soybean oil, 2.5% up. It's like the new wave of crypto in that sense, right? In terms of prices, not of course in utility. All right, moving on, and this is rather interesting. Breaking news. The EU Parliament Monetary Committee to vote on MiCA next week. Wording that would have banned proof of work cryptos like Bitcoin has been removed. This is a very significant article, very significant news. Now, whenever I try to open up these articles on CoinDesk, I kind of feel as if they've banned, the UAE/Dubai from watching their stuff. Because if I open it with a VPN on my phone, everything is fine. If I try to open it with a VPN on here, it's fine. If I don't use a VPN, it doesn't work, which is rather interesting. So, utilizing the power of technology, I have opened the article on my phone right here. And again, the one thing I would just like to explain from this article is that right now, they're looking into different ways to regulate crypto, mostly revolving the fact that, or I should say, around the fact that crypto uses so much energy. And if you want the full story, the best thing you can do is go over to Twitter, check out Steven Berger, and translate everything from freaking German over to an easier to understand language for y'all watching, which is most likely going to be English. Or I guess if you're German, this is the best for you, all right? But there's a very small probability because I think only like 1% of the people watching are German. Let me know down below where you're watching this video from. I should ask that at the start of my videos. I always like to see that. So it read, in view of the important debate about sustainability, my suggestion is to include crypto assets like all other financial products in the taxonomy area. An independent discussion of the proof of work is no longer planned in MiCA. You know, thinking about it now, I do wonder how many of y'all speak German. Mit Mika. Whenever I talk German, I go do it in like an aggressive voice. Mit Mika kann EU weltweite Maßstab... I can't do it. I don't even... Maßstabe setzen. Daher sind alle Beteiligten nun gefragt, den eingereichten Entwurf zu unterstützen und für Mika zu stimmen. Okay, so let's continue on, I guess, huh? Again, take a look at the plant, all right? This is planted specifically for y'all, all right? Fun fact, there's a plant right here as well. But, I don't know, I wanted a different one to have it in view. Even though it's not really in view, but you guys get the idea, you know? It's cool to be able to show my plant like this. I like it. So, breaking Bitcoin news, the state of Florida has passed a bill to clarify state law and financial regulations regarding crypto. I've actually noticed that in most places in the US, they're starting to do this. And I am not yet sure if it is good or bad. It is big news, it is important news, but I'm not sure if it's good or bad. Mostly because it really depends on what comes out of the specific structure they're building, right? Hypothetically speaking, if whenever they're clarifying, the result is relatively negative, you know, and they're saying, to clarify, Bitcoin looks like a piece of garbage and a security that we want to regulate to the death, and we want to, you know, basically fine anybody who's using it. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a good thing. You know, it's a step further, but it's not a good step. You know, it's like you're stepping backwards. So it depends on what comes out of this. We can stay positive because they're steps, but if they're nice or bad steps, we'll definitely have to keep seeing over the next couple of days, I should say. So yeah. And again, regarding the crypto prices, just to end it off here, if you're looking for a platform to trade on, make sure you check out the link down below for Bybit. At the end of the day, these videos are not financial advice, but I honestly believe trading is also a lot of fun. It's a whole different realm you can learn for yourself on the interwebs for absolutely free. And the way I always describe it is, why not learn it? Or why not try it for yourself? If you're noticing you don't like it, don't do it again. If you're noticing you keep losing, learn before you start to do something. But it's definitely a really relieving feeling, I guess, of understanding at least the major moves and potentially making a good chunk of money because of it. So I definitely recommend you guys to get into it. You can always make a test account first or just read into it before you actually trade. But I personally use Bybit. Link is down below. So make sure that you go ahead and check it out. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, most likely later today. So make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on.